yourself and end up hitting a brick wall when it comes to additional financing. So how you do it? Evaluation, you must prove to the crowd that the company is worth what you say or that how you're going to get to your number. It is very important that the company do what's been done traditionally, and that is have a great concept, have a business plan, and have a company that they've thought through all the processes in order for them to either create or increase revenues. The principles are essentially the same. We're just talking about a different format. And you're also going to have to consider the impact on your future angel and venture capital funding. I talked about that already. And then these are going to be restricted securities. In other words, they're going to be illiquid for a period of time. So the shareholders are going to be invested in this company over a longer period of time than a traditional probably venture capital market of 3 to 5 years. They may be involved longer. The cost of right now, the shareholder relations is an issue because we're now talking about people putting in $25. You start multiplying that times the number of shareholders you're going to be having to deal with. So there's going to be an incredible opportunity for people who are managing shareholder relations. That might be taken up by the existing transfer agents that are doing stock transfers now, but there might be a new opportunity for companies that do shareholder relations. Definitely have to have a plan for communicating with them. The cost, typically on the donation side, the portal charges 5% of the money raised, and then you're going to have to add your third-party attorney and CPA fees, which are going to be essential to get you to the level of creating the due diligence package on behalf of the potential investors and the regulators. The portals, some of them have a requirement that you meet the amount that you've actually sought. In other words, if you're going out to raise $10,000, you actually have to raise $10,000 in order to release the money. Other portals are saying that they will allow you to raise somewhat less than that and release the lesser amount of funds, but the cost will essentially be the same. So over the past 6 or 7 months, I've taken an opportunity to do a lot of research with regard to people that are using this new crowdfunding phraseology, and I think it's important for everybody to know that there are already some charlatans out there and bait and switch artists who are using this word crowdfunding to sell unnecessary $30,000, $40,000 business plans, to invite you to some sort of multi-level marketing group. So it's very important that even though somebody is using the crowdfunding phraseology, that you really find out what they're doing. And I've had an opportunity to find a couple of groups that are doing a great job of actually providing value to potential companies. So here's the essential elements that I think are necessary for choosing participants who want to raise money. First of all, at this stage, because we can't officially raise equity-based crowdfunding, you need to educate yourself and to create a resource base that people can begin to build their plan. It is going to take a period of time, probably from 3 to 6 months, to get the resources together, to get the business plan together, to make sure that you are protected both as much as possible from a securities point of view, contractual point of view, intellectual property. All those things have got to be done up front. None of that is disappearing. So there is going to be some initial cost that you might well be prepared to incur with crowdfunding. It's not going to be a free situation, but you can certainly begin the process both in a situation of walking through it yourself, through the best practices, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, as well as including mentors in your group who might be able to assist you with different parts of the plan with which you're not familiar. So you have to have a comprehensive approach with options, and you have to really have participation of local professionals and mentors. I'm going to tell you a little bit about a group that's growing right now in Orange County that's going to be actively involved in this. So we want to have definitely a success-based platform for all the participants. One of the groups that I found, and I'm not an owner or participant in these groups other than as an advisor, is the CrowdFundingPlanning.com group. They have taken a 4-year process of building a platform that has products, services, and incubators that are going to be available for individuals and companies that want to use crowdfunding for both donation and equity-based purposes. The crowdfunding best practices and the product side are going to give people an opportunity through a subscription that's probably going to be less than $100 a year to go in, and if you want to do the process of navigating your way through the crowdfunding process. It will have a step-by-step process that you can go through as an individual or a group of individuals to get you there. The other thing that they will add at the bottom is a cloud sourcing solution. Notice the crowd is the first word in crowdfunding. You're definitely, without a crowd, there's no reason for you to go through this process. So you need to begin not only building your business plan, but also building your crowd. On the services side, the crowdfundingmentors.com is a group of professionals like me, CPAs, attorneys, and other consultants who, when somebody gets to a point in developing their own business plan, needs to consult with an intellectual property attorney or patent attorney or someone like that. These people are going to be out there providing the resources to assist them in that regard. There also is going to be conferences, and I think one of the things that everybody needs to know is that there's going to be a qualifying aspect to the Securities and Exchange Commission regulations as far as anybody in my sphere knows. In other words, there are going to be companies that are going to be qualifying the due diligence process for the companies. They're going to be having due diligence packages that they're going to be selling to the companies so that they can comply with the Securities and Exchange Commission requirements on that they fulfill the requirements to qualify to raise funds. And then in some of the ideas, the incubators have already started out there. There are some incubators that are just going to be developed for certain industries like the film industry on the donation side, but also on the equity side. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for people to consult with potential business owners about raising money, both in the concept of taking their business plan to the next level, but also in developing crowdsourcing. So this is a group of people that have really done a great job and who are working with the Cal State Fullerton Department of Finance and Business and some very other sophisticated people in the SBA and to kind of change the concept of the SBA and offer new opportunities for people who may not be able to qualify under that format. So how do we do it as a crowdfunding on the equity-based side? Obviously, in part, we're educating people in businesses today about the methods, the resources, and it's going to be a collaborative effort. I think there's a great opportunity for people who may not even be professionals as attorneys and CPAs to be consulting people go through the process and to create a plan for their business. Again, I must emphasize, if it's a lousy business plan and a lousy product, the fact that you're crowdfunding isn't going to make it successful. What this is for people who have the concept, the business plan, the advisors, and the implementation, which are all critical to success. This is just a new vehicle. The processes and everything else will be the same for investors. I mean, if you're not performing, people are going to want to know why. So it's very important to know that this is not an easier way to have bad ideas become good ones, but a great way for good ideas to become great. So the portals will be out there. I think Kickstarter and Indiegogo type portals will be using and will be accredited. They will likely be regulated by either an offshoot of the Securities and Exchange Commission. FINRA, that regulates the securities industry, has been charged with some responsibility for accrediting portals. And then there's also going to be a decision about how much money you want to seek. You might be able to, and as I always tell people who are seeking money, always ask for 2 or 3 times what you actually have planned for, because you will probably need it. So if you're seeking $200,000, you might want to seek 4 or 5, because the process is going to be the same no matter what. So you're going to be posting on a crowdfunding portal an information, text, and video. Essentially, this is the tombstone ad gone digital. So the best practices now are about a 2.5-minute video, as you'll see on the Indiegogo sites, with information about the company, and then there will likely be some sort of accreditation. I don't know if you're familiar with the B Lab and B Corporation people that are giving the good housekeeping seal type of approval to the new nonprofit and profit hybrids in California, saying yes, they're fulfilling their business requirements and their social requirements. I think there will be a very similar thing on the qualifying side to make sure that your company that you propose is doing what it said it's going to do. So the other issue is that you're going to have to ensure disclosure. You're going to have certified, reviewed, or audited financials depending upon the amount raised, and companies like that Crowd Qualifier will be able to assist with these and other preparation, due diligence, and disclosure issues. There are already best practices on the donation side. I think that when we flip over to the equity side, I think those best practices will very much and very likely roll over. So how do you go about doing it? The marketing must be located on the